Hey Slayers, and welcome to my review of Shaq Fu for the Sega Genesis. So this game is known in the retro world as being garbage, and that's mostly because of the Super Nintendo version. I'm gonna let you know right now, the Super Nintendo version is buns. You hear me? Buns. The Super Nintendo version is straight up trash and garbage, but it haunts the reputation of this version too. So in Shaq Fu, there's 12 characters. Yes, 12 characters. And I'm gonna let you know, the Genesis version is not that bad. It is no Street Fighter or Virtual Fighter or whatever fighting game, Eternal Champions or whatever fighting game you like on the Sega Genesis or 16-bit and era at all. But the game really isn't that bad. I couldn't learn any of the combos because I'm stupid and don't know how to play fighting games. But I'm trash at the game. But the game is actually pretty fun. It's actually playable, and the characters look good, and there's a nice selection of characters. So in Shaq Fu, there's a total of 3 modes. Dual mode, which is just a normal fighting mode where you can pick any character and verse each other, and it's multiplayer. There's tournament mode, which is where you can set up a style tournament for your friends, I'm pretty sure. Like if you were to have friends over or you play this game like at a party, there's a tournament mode, and then there's a single player story mode with a full functional map and everything. In fact, the story mode, while I don't show too much of it here, I mostly play dual gameplay, which I do show how it works at the end. I actually didn't play too much of it, but from the little bit I played, it actually is a little bit humorous. Now, I know. Licensed games are trash. We don't like licensed games. Spider-Man 2. If you know what I mean by Spider-Man 2, you should know when I'm talking about licensed games, which is probably, I'll explain it a little bit. Spider-Man 2 is basically the best licensed game of all time. But I don't know if Shaq Fu, I think Shaq Fu was a movie. I think it was a movie. Somebody let me know down in the comments, and if not, don't quote me on that. But I think Shaq Fu is a movie. I might look it up, and I might let you know down in the comments. But if I don't, please feel free to let me know, because I can't remember. But let's talk about gameplay. So the gameplay is basically your typical Street Fighter. This game feels like a mix. How can I explain this? Because this game uses pre-rendered graphics like Mortal Kombat. So this game, what I don't like about the game is, also, I'm pretty sure this game might have been released on Master System and NES, but again, don't quote me on that. But this game uses pre-rendered graphics like Mortal Kombat, so you get this little it feels like a mix of Mortal Kombat, Virtual Fighter, Street Fighter, and Eternal Champions all combined together is how I get the feel of it. Like I said, the Super Nintendo version of this game is straight up just atrocious. I've never played it because for years I stayed clear of this game on both Genesis and Super Nintendo because I've heard the game is so trash and so atrocious. But recently I've seen a review of both versions, and it turns out the Genesis version really isn't that bad, and I've genuinely played it, and I might play a little bit more of the story because it was kind of interesting and a little bit funny. So I do recommend you give this game a try. Despite what you might have heard, the game really isn't bad. It's actually a very little interesting title, and I do recommend you try it out. Most of the enjoyment can be either in the laughing factor, and also I am going to say one other thing. This is the original Shaq Fu. They did remake this game, or semi-remake it. They brought it back more on modern consoles for the Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and maybe PC. But again, don't quote me on the PC release. I'm not a PC elitist. I don't follow PC releases, but I know it's on consoles. And that gameplay is completely different to this game. So if you played that game and then you're coming back and you want to play the older Shaq Fu, the original one, I'm gonna straight up let you know now. This game plays like a fighter. It's a fighting game. This is an arcade fighter. That's what it is. But a new remake is a beat 'em up, if I'm pretty sure. But don't again quote me on that. I could be wrong. I've never played the new one. But like I said, I passed up for years just for how this game. On the other hand, though, is technically legendary. This is legendary in the retro space for being just atrociously bad. But it's not too bad on the Genesis version. Like I said, it's no god game. It's no awesome game. It's not the greatest game of all time. Playing this won't change your life. But if you are really interested in how bad the game is and how good the game is, play the Super Nintendo version. If you're okay with playing Super Nintendo games, I'm not, but if you are, Try the Super Nintendo version, then try this version and tell me what you think. Because personally, while the game is legendary, the Genesis version really is okay. Like, it's really it's mediocre. The combos, in my opinion, are hard to pull off. Like I said, I couldn't pull off a single one, but the combat is there, and when you hit somebody, it actually kind of feels like you hit somebody. It's actually a super satisfying type of fighting game that I like with the pre-rendered sprites, because some of those things can look atrocious. Like, honestly, some pre-rendered sprites can look so terrible, but they don't look too bad here. They don't take away from the gameplay at all, and the game actually plays fine. Now, I do think while the CPUs are a little bit hard for beginners, but maybe I'm pretty sure there's an easy option in the options. So if the game is a little bit too hard for you at the start, just go ahead and drop the difficulty down to easy. I never did, but if it is a little bit too hard for you, you can drop it down to easy, I'm pretty sure, and there might even be a very easy. But I got destroyed. So only stick to the normal level if you're just now playing. If you're for the first time playing this, as you can see, there's tournament options, story, and duel. So I clicked story, and I actually didn't, because I played a little bit of the story, like I said here. But you actually have a little mini map, and you go to different locations. And as far as I'm concerned, I forgot what the story is about. But I did get a little bit humor out of it. I do remember it giving me a few laughs. Like I said, I might go back and revisit it. But the story is something like, I don't know what the story is. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't pay too much attention while I was playing the story. All I saw was a couple little parts that made me laugh, and that was really it. But the story is basically just more fighting, but for some type of purpose. Play the story. It is a fun, it can be a little bit funny. Some of these guys have weapons, which is not fair. But play the story. I forgot where it takes place. I was just going to say that it takes place, but I forgot. Play the story. The minimap is okay. Like I said, if you're okay with playing Nintendo games, then test out the Super Nintendo versus the Genesis version, and then you'll realize, I just want to change the opinion a little bit in the retro space, that Shaq Fu is just a terrible game altogether, because it really is on Super Nintendo, because of slowdown and things like that, but here on Genesis, it's not that bad. So if you have some time in your day, pull up, try the Genesis version, tell me what you think, just play the game, and remember, not every game is as bad on both platforms, but until next time, see you, Slayer.